We're going to talk with Landy. He, him wants to tell us that science is catching up with ancient biblical scripture. Well, Landy, we want to hear it. What do you got for us today?
Thank you for having me. Well, first and foremost, I'm hoping to brighten everyone's day by pointing out that at the end of the day, it's proven that we're all technically beings of light, being that the elements within our body, they originate within the stars themselves, and our cells communicate via light as well. For one thing, and this is an overlook.
I'll take the sentiment there. When you started with "we're all beings of light," I was like, well, I don't know, but yeah, the "we're all stardust" thing, I'm on board with it. So yeah, what is science finally catching up to?
We're not all stardust. The helium and the hydrogen in us is not stardust. The rest of it, I think, is
okay. So we're like a lot of stardust. We're like some stardust. Yes, okay. All right, whatever. Yes. Fucking pedantic asshole. Anyway, okay, Landy. So what is science catching up to in ancient biblical scripture? What did the ancient what did the Bible tell us that science is just finally getting around to understanding?
Well, I got to tell you, even that part that we just mentioned for just a moment ago, of course, is also in the Gospel of Thomas, which is one of the
scriptures that are a little bit canonized. Is that canonized? I could have been mistaken. Hang on a second.
No, it is. It's not. I know that. Sure? I know for sure.
Hang on.
Yeah, the Thomas one is the one that the Quran got the story of the Jesus and the bird from.
I've got my Bible right here, Armin. Hang on. Let me get my table of contents out. Yeah, go ahead. You keep talking.
Thomas. Like, okay, we're gonna have an inquisition here on us.
Old Testament. Okay,
I swear. Particularly when they ask you where you're from. Tell them you're from the light. If it takes you a moment to pull it up,
right?
Correct.
It's not in the Bible.
Okay, so then it's not in the Bible because look at this right here.
There's no Thomas.
I know you might not be looking at it. Maybe it's still a little fuzzy, but you can definitely just go grab your book and you can look at it.
Yes.
And oh, look at that. No Book of Thomas. So that's not biblical. So I mean, if you want to say there's extra biblical scriptures, if you want to say there's extra biblical scriptures that science is catching up to, no worries, man. I'll still take that call. That's still fascinating to me, Landy. But you can't claim that it's from the Bible. I love how
both me and Elliot, as soon as you said Gospel of Thomas, both me and Elliot were like, hold on, what? No.
You can't use that. You can't use that shit.
That's not canon. But go on.
We're not finished. I can appreciate that, but in essence, at the end of the day, for one example, the 7 days of creation, for example, the first verse of Genesis, with all the letters contained therein, comes out to the number 28. And the seven musical scales.
What does that matter? Let's just grant for a second what you just said, okay? What is the fact that all of those letters adding up, which I don't even know how you do that, but let's just give it to you. What does that mean? Like, just give me a basic understanding, okay? Like, let me put it to you this way, okay? I could tell you right here. I just randomly did this. I love this book. I just randomly did this though. But this is the book of Job. This is an actual canonized book in the actual Bible. Just, point that out real quick. But in the book of Job, the first sentence, all of the letters add up to the number 42. And the reason that's important is because that's where Douglas Adams got the answer to the question of life, 42, right? See, but I just made all that bullshit up. So what you just said, the letters add up to 28. What does that matter? Okay, so what?
Wait. Okay, let him finish the point, and then before you say that, Landy, are you consider yourself a Christian? Yes or no?
Well, I'm actually, to be honest with you, I would like to, if I may please finish the point before I answer your next question, because I wasn't finished from before. And I know you guys have a whole lot coming at me, but I wasn't done. If I may directly address, what does the number 28 have to do with it?
Okay, but you just spent 30 seconds asking for permission to make the point. You could have used that time to actually make that point right now.
Would you like a minute? We can give you a full minute, Landy, uninterrupted. Do you want a minute?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hang on just a second. I'll tell you how it's going to go. Our crew is going to get a timer. They're going to put it on screen. When I shut up here in just 5 seconds, your minute will start. And when that minute is up, we are just going to unabashedly come in and say, hey, okay, your minute's up, okay? I'm going to shut up. The minute timer is going to come up on screen, and Armin and I are going to be quiet while you lay your case out.
Thank you. The first verse of Genesis 1:1, is in essence mathematical code. It's 7 words with all the characters derived therein that it's made up of. The way that happens is the gematria, in essence, of the ancient letters. That equals out to 28 letters. That's the 7th triangular number. In essence, all of these numbers together come out to 2,701 that mathematically equate to the first verse of Genesis. That's the 73rd triangular number, which erects a pyramid, such as the Great Pyramid. These 7 words right here, which is in essence make up the 7th triangular number, the 28 letters, not only point to that pyramid, which was created, architected by the 7th patriarch since Adam, Enoch, but also, just to get back to the point, those 7 words that come out to 28 letters altogether correlate with the 7 musical scales, which with all the notes contain
now
their
my questions. Your time is up. Landy, your time is up.
That's
your time is up.
I wanted to give you a few extra seconds, though. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, finish your point.
No. He did. Okay. He did. He connected it to the musical notes. Landy, that's what I wanted to hear.
Do you believe in Jesus to be God, Landy? Yes or no? Is Jesus God?
First of all, I know you guys are going to get quite the heckle, but we'll take our time.
Yes or no, Landy? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is Jesus God?
Not only is God not a human being, such as recited in Mark 10:18.
Is Jesus?
And also,
sounds like you're saying no.
God?
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying no here.
Okay, so I don't want to say not only, just no. Okay. So is Allah God? Is Allah God? Just answer my questions. Is that really hard? Is Allah God? Do you believe in Islam? Yes or no?
First, I was still finishing your answer.
These are yes or no. These are yes or no questions. What are you talking? Yeah. Why are you saying first?
I don't understand.
I'm asking,
why.
Do you believe Allah is God? Just say yes or no. Allah.
Hang on just a second, Landy. I just muted you. You probably heard a beep, okay? So if you're talking right now, it won't matter. You're just wasting your own energy, okay? I'm going to unmute you in just a second. We'll just try this again, okay? Anything that's happened up until now, we can just put aside. Put a little pin in it, come back to it. Never. I'm going to bring you back on. You're going to hear a beep. And then Armin's going to ask you a direct question that really only has 1 or 2 answers. And if you want to give further explanation to your answer, you can do so after you just say either yes or no. Okay? So you're going to hear a beep. I'm unmuting you. Armin, what's your question?
Yeah.
Do you believe Allah is God? Yes or no?
Because you're saying God in Arabic, yes.
Okay, no. I'm not. Yep. Because it doesn't start with because, it just says yes. Okay, so yes.
So yes, okay. You believe Allah is God. Cool.
All right. Do you believe in Islam?
I believe it was created by me. That's what I believe. I took you back to Genesis 1, and as I said, if you're saying
did you just say hold up. Yeah. Did you just say Islam was created by you? I don't think I heard that right. Go ahead, Armin.
Okay.
Try again.
Let me just make this point because I don't think this person understands what's happening here. Yeah. Okay. What I'm trying to get at is that if we use these number games, right? Every religion has that. Hinduism has that. Islam has that. Christianity has that. But this guy is not even able to have a conversation with you for me to be able to get there, right? I think because they know that they might get stuck in a trap, because their arguments are always so self-contradictory that if you actually genuinely answer these questions, you will get trapped by your own answers. That's why I think they refuse to answer these questions, right? But what I'm trying to point to is that in Islam, in the Quran, the word they has been mentioned how many times? 365 times, right? If any Christian wants to come up play with the numbers game, then the Muslims have you beaten that, right?
What?
So on that game, and it's not just day; it's basically day and night, 365 times, according to them, on a book that was compiled over a period of time. So you don't have anything like that in the Bible. That is pretty, because look at the number of 28 that he came up with, you would have to make that sound significant by coming up with all these other random mumbo jumbles, right? But when a Muslim comes and says that I have 365 days, by the way, I have an answer to that, so don't think like I consider that a miracle. Right, but if you imagine, what do you have over that? Because all the Muslim has to say, it's not like this is a magical number, because you have to do two things. First, you have to show that number, there's a number in the Bible. Second, you have to prove that number is special. Right. But the Muslim doesn't even have to do that. The Muslim has to just show you the number, because we already all know how significant the number 365 is. So you don't even have to show to us, prove to us how special that number is. So that's
I swear there's another one. There's another one out there too. Like, there's another one that's something about like how many words are in the Quran, and like something about like if you divide it by the number of chapters, it equals some other, like, yeah, anybody can play
it's
around
actually more
with
simple.
all of these.
The Quranic ones are more simple, because if I remember correctly, the chapter of the Quran that is the chapter B is the same number, I think this was it or something else, of the number of chromosomes of bees. Right? So it's not like you don't even have to like add and multiply and divide or something, because the Christian ones, you have to just put so many different numbers together. You have to add them, you have to divide them, you have to do all sorts of mathematical tricks with them. The Islamic ones are like, hey, the number of days is 365. The B chapter is the same number of chromosomes. No addition, no division, nothing needed.
That's just straight up. Okay.
Okay.
So hang on, Landy, we're gonna bring you back on.
Did I just convert all the live chat to Islam? By the way, guys,
probably,
if you're impressed, you should do the shahadat.
Do not. You can just end at the first line. There is no God. All right, we're good. Okay, Landy, you're back on. We've gotten a little far afield by talking about math. What I want to talk about is what in the Bible. What in the Bible is coming? Look, I'll just mute you again. That's really stupid, Landy. I'm trying to be kind here, okay? You said some very, very silly things that I honestly really don't think you even know enough about to have a full conversation on. But more importantly, Landy, I am desperately interested in figuring out what biblical information has existed for so long that science is just now catching up to, because this is a claim I have heard from many a Dawa folk, and I think they're wrong when it comes to the Quran and Islam, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the stance I think you're probably wrong too. So let's hash it out. I'm gonna bring you back on. You're gonna hear a beep. What ancient biblical information is out there that science is just catching up with? What you got?
Thank you very much. I'm going to try to fit two things in as best I can for you. Number one is remaining with Genesis 1:1, which I can elaborate more on, including with what the gentleman was saying earlier in regards to the Muslim numbers. But for the first instance, the mathematical constant of pi is embedded within Genesis 1:1. There are multiple ways which you come out to the smallest whole number approximation of pi, which, as you know, took years to come up with here with modern day calculations.
Okay,
and also,
that's your first one. What's the second one?
Yes, sir. The fourth phase of cellular water, intracellular water, which when you look it up is actually going to go ahead and prove to you that it's been peer reviewed, that telecommunication, actual telepathic speaking, is within reach. You'll see that literally posted within, for example, the Smithsonian magazine website. that literally this fourth stage of cellular water is capable of telecommunication, and this is overlaying the fourth kingdom.
Are you talking about the thing where people yelled at glasses of water and then took silly pictures of them and told everybody that your water is magic? That's not what you're talking about, right?
Not at all, sir.
Yeah, because when I look up intracellular water, none of the things that come up on the NCBI website are anything close to what you're talking about. So
actually, what you will find is exactly what I said, including a TMS.
That intracellular water can do like telekinetic communication. That's what I'm going to find here. Because currently what I found is extracellular to intracellular body water and cognitive function among healthy, older, and younger adults. That definitely isn't what you're talking about.
Look up the post that I showed you, that I just mentioned, from the Smithsonian magazine, that will literally tell you telepathic communication is in reach, where they rig one human being with what is called a TMS, literally a capsule, almost like you may have seen with that Ready Player One movie. And they literally have been able to deliver telepathic communication via this way. Literally, look it up just like that.
I genuinely am right now. And I can honestly tell you, abso-fucking-lutely nothing is coming up, bro. Like, I don't know if I can, I don't think I can share my screen right now, but like legitimately, I typed in intracellular water Smithsonian. If that doesn't bring up this article that you're talking about, bro, I just don't know what the fuck will. And the only thing that comes up is algae preservation techniques. That's all I'm getting. Now, everybody at home, you can be good skeptics yourself and go check it out. But because we're getting close to the end of the show, Landy, if that's all you got, man, I don't think that's
hold on, Landy. Hold on. Yeah. So the thing is, Elliot, hold on. I'm talking. So I wouldn't even be surprised if these numbers were true, because. And I wouldn't even be surprised if you find numbers like this from like a cookbook. Like I'm almost sure that if I just grab just a random book from my shelf and I just give it to AI to come up with coincidental numbers that just miraculously match with something, in any book you will be able to find numbers like this. By the way, I just double checked. Weren't my numbers more impressive than whatever
they are? They are more
impressive because I double checked and it's true. Like the bees have 16 chromosomes, and the bee chapter in the Quran is chapter 16 of the Quran, right? Yeah, and imagine if that was actually a miracle. That is very.
It's more impressive, but it's still stupid. That's.
I know to the human mind, which sometimes misfires when it comes to coming over probabilities, that is actually a lot more impressive because the Quran was compiled through time, and the people who even compiled the Quran was not Muhammad himself. It happened after his death, and they didn't know about the chromosomes. So imagine the miracles that must have taken place to make sure that it shows up on chapter 16, which is the same number of chromosomes of B.
I think the only thing we can say is Alhamdulillah. I'm sorry, it just
no. You should do the shahada. But the thing is that this is you should do the shahadat, guys. This is only impressive to a human mind because human minds are not wired to understand probabilities properly, right? Like if you and things that. In fact, if your brain understood how probabilities work, it would be surprised if there would no such things in it. Like if a book long enough didn't have any such instances in it, that would be the miracle. That would be the miracle, that you couldn't find a single impressive number in it, because just because of the law of large numbers, at some point there should be a number there that just matches something somewhere.
That's the whole monkeys at typewriters thing. Eventually they're just gonna type out Shakespeare. But Landy, I'm sorry, brother. We got a few other calls we got to get to. Call us back.
Can I just answer him directly?
No, because I put you on mute. I do appreciate you asking kindly, though. But unfortunately, I've said we're going to move on, which means we're going to move on.